Okay, so we're gonna start looking at univariate data today. So you might want to just write univariate up there. So it's core, meaning it's the compulsory part of your Year 12 unit. So there's parts in Year 12, sometimes they used to be able to pick what parts, but everyone had to do this part. So that's why it was core. But anyway, we're going to look at it. It's mainly univariate. So what univariate data is that we collect some data. And univariate means we're just collecting one piece of data, so one list of data. So say, for example, in this class, I might go collect all your heights. And that's my one list, my univariate, that's my univariable is your heights. Okay, so we're going to be collecting data. So data can be, we can put data into categories. So first of all, we would have two categories. So we can either have numerical data or we can have categorical. And you can see down here, it's down there in your list down the below. So we have, we have data, and then it breaks off into these two branches where it can be either numerical or categorical. So numerical data is when it consists of numerical information. So you've actually collected a piece of information that's a number. So say like when I said your heights, that would be numerical data. And say if I counted how many goals you scored on the weekend, that would be numerical data. So if you have a category, a categorical data is when it's a category. So say like you have your eye colour or the suburb you live in. That's all like a category. Okay, so there's still things we could collect, but it's categorical. So now these two break off into two separate categories of two. So we can see here numerical breaks off into discrete and continuous. So if it's numerical and it's discrete, we've written there, and it's probably good to highlight that, when it's discrete, it's generally counted. So it's a little bit hard to see that. So it's counted. So say for like the example we had before, say the number of goals. You count up the number of goals. So that would be discrete data. So when it's like a set number that you've counted. If it's continuous numerical, it's often measured. So if you think about it, measured, say like your height, your weight, that's measured. Maybe we measure the time you take to run 100 meters. Yeah, so that's also measured. That would be continuous. So you've got to be really careful about how it was sort of collected or measured. So measured is continuous. Now, when we have the categorical data, and it too breaks off into two categories called ordinal and nominal. So ordinal is when you have categories that have some type of order. So say, for example, if you were, I'm going to break it up here. So ordinal and nominal. So we can put a few more examples here. Okay, so say with ordinal, you have categories, but there's some type of order. So say, for example, you went into a pizza shop and you had, say, the pizza sizes. So if you think about it, you've got small, medium, large. So see how, if you got a large pizza, it's bigger than the person who got a small. So there's an order there. You can tell with that. Another one that's a little bit, you've got to be careful to ordinal, is say something, and it's a little bit of a trap, is say like shoe size. Shoe size is actually a category. So when we say you're a size 10, even though it has a numerical sounding name, it's actually a category. So say shoe size, so say if you're size, 7, size 8, etc., that is a type of ordinal data, because if I know if I'm in a size 6, I'm smaller than the size 10. So there's a bit of an order there. Now another one that can be in ordinal data, which you might get confused, is say place order in a race. So say if you come, say first, second, third, that's actually a category, but it's ordinal. Okay, so place getting in a race, so first order, order, so that's a category. Say another one that you might see a lot is, say if we said, year 7, year 8, year 9, that's still, we're putting you in a category. It's still a category, even though it has a number sounding. But it's got order because we know a year 9 is older than a year 7. Okay, so they're some of the tricky ones like that. Now, nominal is when you have a category that has no order. So say like if you're male or female, when they say that, that's like a variable, like that would be no order in that one. Or say the eye colour, so you can't put that in an order. Or say car make, car type or whatever, if you had a BMW, Mercedes, we'd be collecting different data, but it's all categorical. All right, just one other one that's ordinal that you'll see a lot. When we do surveys and we say you strongly agree, neither, disagree, remember those? Yeah, that's ordinal because you've got an agree level and then you've got disagree, so we do know there's an order there. So maybe just write that one as well, like, strongly agree, you'll know what it means, and then you're going down to disagree. That's it. It's still a category, but it's ordinal. Okay. All right, so we've just said this with our things. We said, be careful, the name doesn't suggest itself what type of data it is. So here's some examples of numerical. So we had heights. So you tell me, would heights be continuous or discrete? It would be a heights. If I took the heights, it's definitely numerical. Would it be continuous or discrete? Do I measure it? Yeah. Yes. So it's continuous, yeah? Okay, the marks in a maths test. Do I count up how many marks? I do, don't I? So that one would be discrete. Okay, the number of universities in a country. Did you count that up? Yeah, so that one would be discrete. Good. And then ages. We normally say it's discrete because we've counted how many years you are. Yeah? So we say discrete normally. And salaries, just so you know, salary is when they decide for a year how much you'll get paid. So you guys often your part-time job an hourly rate, yes? When you get into sometimes in the more professional era, that you get a salary. So it's a dead set amount, and it doesn't matter like the hours you work, they'll just decide, when you're going to work. So like teachers are on a salary, yeah? Generally, we don't get an hourly rate, all right? So salary, I'm going to say, is discrete. Yeah, we counted it up. Okay, but just so you know, because sometimes that comes up and you may be a bit confused on what that is. All right, so here they've done examples of categorical data. Let's go through them and think about whether it's ordinal or nominal. What about gender? So gender would be nominal. AFL football teams would be nominal. Religions would be nominal too. There's no order there. Finishing positions in a Melbourne Cup. So whether you came first, second, third, that would be ordinal. I can't even say this word. That's like suburbs or areas. So we'll just say that. Yeah, thank you. Nominal. Ratings of 1 to 5 to indicate a preference of 5 different cars. That's ordinal. Good. So if you, that's a good one to bring up. If you, if they say rank something, and if you give it a number, you're giving it a category, but it's still ordinal. Okay, age groups. So here's another one where it's actually category. This is like saying year 7, year 8, but they're saying 0 to 9-year-olds, 10 to 20. That's actually categorical, but it's ordinal. Okay, hair colour, nominal. All right, so just be careful. All right, off you go. Oh, we've got a double. So in a minute you will do 2A, but I'm going to go to the next chapter.